Do you head into each homeschool day completely overwhelmed before you even open a school book? Do you end each day frustrated by all that you didn't get to? Homeschooling is a huge responsibility, but it doesn't have to be overwhelming. Hi, I'm Christy with Homeschooling in Progress, and my goal is to help you simplify your homeschool day so that you're not stressed out and overwhelmed. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 ideas of ways that you can reduce the overwhelm in your homeschool. The very first tip I have for you is to make sure that you are taking time for yourself. And I know that's easier said than done when you have all of these responsibilities. But if you don't take care of yourself, you're going to end up completely frustrated and overwhelmed and stressed out each day. Ask me how I know. It's so easy to put your needs on the back burner because you have so many kids and household responsibilities to attend to. But over time, that's going to lead to burnout. Now, the very best way that I found to keep myself from getting stressed out is to enforce a daily quiet time. Now, this originated because of the need for my older kids to be quiet while my younger kids had a nap time. But as the younger ones got older and grew out of a nap time, I still found that I needed that time in the afternoon with nobody around to kind of recharge. I am a huge introvert, and with a house full of very noisy, active boys, it is a time that I desperately need each day in order to not be completely stressed out by the time the day is over. And this quiet time can be as long as you need. Maybe you just need half an hour, maybe you need a couple of hours. In our house, it's a good time for my kids to have a little bit of screen time. We don't do TV during the week or very many screens. And so this is a time that they can use their Kindles for a little bit and play some educational games. And it's a great time for me to be able to go into my room, read a book, relax, and just make it a time for me to do what I want to do. And then once the quiet time's over, we all join back again for the dinner and afternoon activities, evening activities, and we're all a little more recharged from having had that time to ourselves in the middle of the day. So try to find a way to have some time for yourself, even if it's not a daily quiet time. Just find some ways that will help you recharge and feel like your needs are getting taken care of as well. And you won't lead to the burnout that's going to give you so much overwhelm each day. So along with having time to yourself, my second way to reduce the overwhelm in your homeschool is to make sure that you are organized. Even if you don't have a dedicated homeschool room, you still can find ways to organize the materials that you have. Cute baskets look really nice on a shelf, and you can put your school books in there. You can have one for each child. You maybe can find some empty cabinet space to hide math manipulatives or games so that you don't see the clutter, but it's still easily accessible. So just find ways to organize your home a little bit so that you don't always see everything. It's hard when we're home all the time and we're learning there and living in your home where you're going to have some things out. And so it's good for everything to have a space so that when you want to put it away, you have the space to be able to do that. So when you reduce your clutter, you're going to reduce your stress as well. Now, number 3 is something that took me years to come up with, and that is meal planning. Meal planning is something that we always wanted to do, but it just seemed that as much as we wanted to meal plan, I would come to 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I'd forget to lay something out, or I couldn't think of anything to make. And so it was just a struggle for so long. It doesn't seem like meal planning would be something hard, but when you're doing it day after day after day, you kind of get tired of doing it. And so we would be good for a few weeks with meal planning, and then we'd kind of slide right back into our old habits. But a few years ago, we decided once and for all, we are going to do this meal planning thing. And so we do it as a family. So meal planning is a great way to reduce that overwhelm, especially at the end of a long homeschool day. The fourth way that you can reduce overwhelm in your homeschool is to make sure that you have some kind of daily schedule or routine that you follow. It doesn't have to be by the minute or by the hour, but just kind of a guide for how your homeschool days are going to flow. Knowing what to expect each day is going to help you and your kids keep from being overwhelmed or frustrated because you know what's coming next. You know what needs to be done. You can get things out and have a plan in place. You'll waste less time in your day trying to figure out what's going to happen next. And you'll also be able to create more of a balance in your day between your teaching responsibilities and your other household responsibilities. So having some kind of routine in place so that you know how your days are going to flow is a great way to keep from being overwhelmed each day. And then along with that is my fifth way to reduce the overwhelm in your homeschool, and that's to have a plan. So not only do you have your routine, but you also have an idea of what you're doing in that routine. When you don't have a plan, it's very frustrating to wake up each day and try to piece together what everyone's going to do. That leads to a lot of frustration and overwhelm. So spend a little bit of time each week making sure that you have a plan in place for what books you're going to need or what materials you might need. Maybe put together some activities, especially for your little ones. Don't just plan for the kids that are school age. Don't just plan for yourself. Make sure that you plan for those little ones as well. Keeping them busy is also a great way to reduce overwhelm, because if you're trying to homeschool older kids and you have younger ones, it can be very stressful. I know how stressful it can be when you have older kids that you're trying to teach while the younger kids are hanging off of you because they don't have anything to do. So make sure that you have a plan for your school age kids. Know what they're doing. Have some things that they can do on their own so that when you need to attend to those little ones, you can. Have a plan in place for yourself. Make sure that you know what you need. Make sure you have everything out. Maybe kind of plan to work in some of that time to yourself throughout your day. And then also make sure that you plan for your little ones who aren't in school yet. Maybe put together some sensory bins. Sensory bins are a great way for them to spend time when you're teaching. They can do them right in the room with you. It's an activity that they can do all by themselves, and they can also work on fine motor skills. Maybe you have some beans in a sensory bin and they can work on scooping and pouring. So find activities for those little ones to do as well, and make sure that you have them organized in your homeschool space so that they are easily accessible. You can just pull them right out and they're ready to go. Have some puzzles in mind or other little things that they can do. Having everything planned and ready to go is a great way to help your days run smoothly and stress-free. Homeschooling is a huge responsibility, but it doesn't have to be one that's overwhelming and frustrating. Following these 5 ways to reduce stress are going to help you and your children thrive in your homeschool. Thanks for watching, and happy homeschooling.